You have three types of branding structures in relation to your business: monolithic, endorsed, and pluralistic. Monolithic are brands that rely on a single overarching brand as the main brand, with smaller sub-brands branching off. For example, Google's products are all using Google's overarching brand as leverage. You have Google Search, Google Maps, Google Books, Google Translate, and so on. Imagine how much more difficult it would have been to build trust in a maps or translation software if you didn't even know it was from Google. Endorsed brands are brands that stand on their own, but still have the visible endorsement of a larger parent brand. For instance, Kellogg's cellular brands often have a little Kellogg's above the brand's logo to further reinforce confidence into this child brand. This is particularly potent when you have an existing brand that is already established in your market and you sort of want to fast track the development of a secondary brand, often a more specialized brand. And you do this by leveraging the existing reputation of this parent brand. The difference between monolithic and endorsed structures is that endorsed brands do not fully associate their identity with the parent brand. So, for instance, while Nestlé might be the endorsing brand for sub-brands like the cereals Nesquik or Cheerios, it lets these brands be the major focus point instead of the branding itself as the main brand. So, in this case, you'd still hear someone say that they are buying Cheerios and not Nestlé's Cheerios, whereas you wouldn't have someone refer to Google Maps as just Maps. Endorsed brands are not very common on Amazon, especially for small sellers, as the parent brand often needs to reach a high level of development before child brands can make use of this endorsement. Else it would be confusing for the customer, as instead of being faced with one unknown brand, they are faced with two. Pluralistic brands or parent silent brands are brands that are not actively presented as being part of a main group. A famous example is the conglomerate Procter & Gamble, who have brands like Pampers, Pringles, Gillette, but which no customer directly associates with P&G. So why would you want to separate your brands? Why not link them all together so each can benefit from the development of the others? This kind of brand architecture is useful when a company wants to enter markets with similar product categories or product categories that fit the company's business type, but which require a different brand personality and promise. Remember our example with Brita in lesson 1? Well, the parent company for Brita happens to be the Clorox company. You might have heard of the brand Clorox. In case you haven't, it is a brand that offers chemical drain cleaning products. So not really a great name for a water purifier though, is it? So while Clorox might be a great brand to promise powerful chemical cleaning, no one wants to associate drinking water with potentially harmful chemicals. However, the parent company benefits from its expertise and operational setups to provide solutions in the general domain of water management system, both in drainage and in purification. This is why it made complete sense to tap into both markets and create two separate, unrelated brands to appeal to the different customer segments. For your business on Amazon, you might find yourself in a similar situation where your business can also tap into somewhat similar product categories with different customer expectations, in which case you will want to separate your brands to ensure that each one is specialized for its target audience. So which brand structure is right for you? If you're a small-scale seller, then I highly recommend to go for a single brand first, and as you look to explore more markets, adopt a pluralistic approach. The other two are only particularly good once you have developed a famous and strong reputation within your industry. By having a separate brand for each market, you can focus your brands on their respective customers without the hassle of potential mismatch or drawbacks from conflicting brand identities. This is especially the case if you have a business advantage which you can leverage across a range of different markets. As mentioned before, this is the case for Clorox, where their expertise in all sorts of water purification allows them then to compete in vastly different markets with completely different requirements, and so they require completely different brands and identities.